Hello, everybody. Hey everybody, and welcome to Games Never Finished. I'm Vicious Grandma, and just going to kind of get right into playing Dragon Warrior 2. So yeah, let's go right ahead and jump right in there. So kind of talk a little bit about this channel, Games Never Finished, just kind of basically trying to finish the games that I've played but never really finished. And Dragon Warrior 2 is an interesting game because I got the first Dragon Warrior game through a Nintendo Power promotion. Back, I think I got my NES back in like 87, 88, I believe, and as I was eating at a McDonald's of all places, there was a promotion where if you got a Nintendo Power magazine, you then got a free game, which was Dragon Warrior. That was the promotion. So did that, signed up for like a 2-year subscription, and not only did I get Nintendo Power, but I also got Dragon Warrior. So played Dragon Warrior for a long time, like really grind and finally beat the game. So at my local video store they had Dragon Warrior 2, so I'm like, oh, I'll play this. They are here. And I played it, and then of course, you know, the rental scene back in like the 80s and 90s, like your Blockbusters, even before Blockbuster was popular. I think I went to like a local place where I was living at, and it was like you could get it for a weekend, like 3 days, for like $5 or something, and they didn't have a good sense of time. It basically was 3 days. So if I got it on Friday, I had to return it by Sunday by 11, or you get hit with a late fee. So obviously I'm browsing, I see Dragon Warrior 2, I'm like, okay, cool, I'll play it for a little bit, have to return it, and then after that, I would try to go back and it would be out of stock, I could never get it, and I think that was the problem with renting, is that especially role-playing games back in the late 80s, 90s, was you could rent a role-playing game and be like, man, I really want to do this, but then after a while, you just couldn't play it anymore because it would be checked out, or if you did, especially if it was like a save system, someone may have overridden your save, so you'd have to start from scratch again, and it just wasn't a good system. Missing a lot of the story. I'll hold that thought. Alright, try to get just like Dragon Warrior 1 or Dragon Quest, whatever you're from. Alright, can talk to people. Oop, nope, have to look at them. So, I think this is where you have to like alright. So alright. Oh, copper sword, leather armor. Yeah, I forgot that they kind of do the old English thing here, so it's always like thoueth and this. Yes, remember to equip your weapons. Sometimes it's hard because I'm like, what are you talking about? Alright. But that was going back to why I never finished this game, was just the rental issue. It was always hard. Alright, I guess you can't really talk to a door. So that was always the bummer, and especially now when you try to think about, oh, how do you continue to play a game? And that's why I think like some of the games that had password systems were so great, because you could write down your password, and when you rent it again, you can then play the game. But no, this was very different. I did not need to visit the House of Healing. Alright. Now, I believe what made this game, one of the things I remember about this game, Woof Woof, was that, yeah, let's buy, let's buy at least a medical herb. No. Alright. We're off to do some battle. not sure where we're going. Think north. We'll try north. But as I would remembered is that you would get teammates, and this was the first time I can remember seeing kind of a line of teammates that followed you, because even in like Final Fantasy, even though you had multiple party members, you never really saw them until you were in a battle. But what was cool about Dragon Warrior was the first one, it was just one guy. And then the second part, it was just, you could see like a trail of like 3 additional people, 3 to 4 people that would come and see you. Alright. But it's interesting to see, when I was a kid, how much the how rentals have changed. You know, before it was like 3 days for $5, and then especially when you had things like Blockbuster and Family Video kind of come in the 90s, and even before most of them started to close their doors, you had a good amount of you know, they were longer, so it was like 5 days, which was very nice. Alright, let's go save at the end. Goodbye. So, when, and then even now, like, you have your Redbox, which, you know, it's like, oh, I don't know, I think Redbox is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's like $3 a day, which I think is pretty high, especially if you have a company like, Gamefly that can do, you know, depending on how many games you want to check out, you can do a bunch of them for, I think it's like $14.95, and you can have the game as long as you want. You can have it for a month. You can get a role-playing game like The Witcher 3, and you can hold on to that game for a year, and you're still only going to pay like the $14.95, which some people may say, well, that's not a good deal, but, you know, I've had Gamefly since when it first started, and, you know, and I think in that aspect it just did pretty good for me, because it was just, you know, I'd get a game, and if I didn't like it, I sent it back real quick, and then after that, if there's a game I liked, I could hold it out for like a couple weeks, and it'd be great and wonderful. So yeah, so it's interesting how much rentals, you know, with the digital, and I think that's going to be interesting too, since now games are starting to go more digital. You know, is there any need to rent games anymore? Is there a market for it anymore? Which I think there is, but over time, how do you do something where you can't rent media, or if you get a new system like the PS6 or something may have just like no disc media whatsoever. It's just digital. Everything's digital, and it's like, oh, well then, how do I rent a game? And because you don't want to pay money for a game that sucks, and then you're like, oops. I'm not sure how it was with Dragon Warrior 2. I know in Dragon Warrior 1 it was pretty But now I'm trying to remember how to save a game. I think you have to talk to the king, but I'm so used to like Dragon Quest 11 and even Dragon Quest 8, where it was like 8. Yes. I have entered thy deeds in the Imperial Scrolls of Honor. Dost thou wish to continue thy quest? Oh. It's so interesting how much the Dragon Quest series has changed over the years. Because even like things like Dragon's Quest 3 and 4, I've never played those. Like, I've only played 1 and 2, and then 8, which I haven't finished 8, so maybe that might be a feature on here. Maybe in like Season 2 or something. But, yeah, Dragon Quest 8, played Dragon Quest 9, and then currently playing Dragon Quest 11, but kind of put that on hold because I've been playing Insomniac Games' Spider-Man game. So let's see, okay. Ooh, Iron Ants, I bet you I probably am going to get killed now. Ooh, yeah. It's not good. Alright, leveled up. Alright. Actually, yeah, I forgot about this part where it seemed like you could only take like one step and you're already fighting enemies over and over again. Oh, come on. Maybe this is why I didn't finish it. Not only was it the rental problem, I was just like, man, I just was fighting all the time. At least I know with most role-playing games, if you're too powerful, then most of these minor enemies will run away from you, these weaker enemies, but... Oh. Alright. Let's rest at the inn and get some more. Yes. Alright. Okay. Left line, so left. Wait a minute, hold on. West, okay. I've been on the wrong way the whole time. forget what the lottery tickets do. Alright, so I need to go west. Right there. Alright. Alright, so I'm in left line. That's the thing about the old role-playing games, is you always have to talk to everybody to figure out where you were going. Benjamin Brook, okay. So there's a castle north, there's a castle west. Alright. There's something over there in the corner. So it looks like I need to go north. time. Yes, it was Moonbrook Castle in Flames. Oh, you have to wait for them to get. I forgot you have to wait to do that. To talk to them. Oh, my goodness. And my camera just died, which is very common. It just... There's a silver key that opens doors of silver. Thank you. No, but I was going to say that I had a old presentation software that I was using on my basic channel, my Vicious Grandma channel, and used it, but then there were so many different updates and they actually ended up messing everything up. Like anytime I played a PC game, or it just would not show it at all, which was very frustrating. Alright, but it was very frustrating, so then I ended up switching over to... Oh, I hate when... So then I ended up switching over to a new presentation software, and it seems to work. Haven't had a lot of the issues that I was having, but the problem was that occasionally my camera would just cut out. Just being honest. Spring of bravery rises. Tell that this story is very weird. It's like, oh yes, you go find my son. He can be your companion. Yes. Okay, but it travels slowly. Alright, and I believe that was to the east. So that is where I will go. Or actually, I may just wait and grind and get some, I just came out of the castle and I'm already getting attacked by ants. What's up with that? Alright, leveled up. Alright, and my camera cut out again. So this is what I'm talking about, how it just cuts out and cuts in, but not really, there's nothing I can really do about it. It's I haven't really tried like getting like a USB camera, but that's the other thing too about this, especially playing some of these old RPGs now. The instruction manuals were always so important because when you would play these games, you would they would tell you like, oh, this sword is this many attack points, and maybe this sword will do defense, where if you're playing without an instruction manual, you have no clue what any of this does. And so it's like, oh, I can buy a magic sword, but I don't know if that's going to help me or not. Actually, just let me... Alright, copper sword, leather armor. I should be paying attention to this battle. Alright. Oh no. That's interesting about this is that when I was poisoned, I wasn't losing my health. Carry anymore. Okay. Well, I guess I better figure out what I'm doing. But no, when I was fighting the Babbles, it seemed like I wasn't even being affected by the poison during battle. It's only when I'm done with battle and I start walking, it starts attacking me, which is interesting because that's not how it works now in the Dragon Quest games. Awesome. Alright. Get some more gold. Ooh, Ghost Mouse. Next level. need to check in my list and see how much everything is, because I don't have an instruction manual here in front of me, so I have no idea. I'm almost kind of sad that most of them done away with instruction manuals, and I know it's, you know, everything's digital now, so you can have them, but I do miss the flipping of the pages and the artwork that you can see in them. Like, I missed all that. That was always something that was always so cool to see. Actually, I don't think we have an item shop here. I have to go south of that village. Alright. Maybe that's what I should have got a wing of. So I can instantly just teleport to all these places. Take that, Iron Ant. Still haven't known what the lottery tickets do. stagger or stay where I'm at right now and just try to attempt to find the King's Son to have a companion. Not really sure what to do. But again, while I'm thinking about it, just to kind of talk about this first season of Games Never Finished, obviously we'll be playing Dragon Warrior 2, and trying to beat this game. And then the other thing I have in the season is Assassin's Creed Unity. And obviously the reason why I never finished that game, because it was just buggy and just was unplayable. I know they've had a bunch of updates, but I've never really revisited the game since. And then the next game will be Metal Gear Solid 5, which I never finished, but I don't even know if it's even possible to finish the game just the way it's designed. So I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about the Kojima incident and talk a little bit more about that, actually. Before I even take one step, I better... There we go. Yeah, maybe I'll... Alright. Okay, I need to figure out where... Where's the Spring of Bravery? It's probably this guy. East. Okay, that's where I need to go. And actually, since I used a medical herb, let me go get one of those wings from the item store, so I can. Or I hope that's what they do. That's what they do in all the. Nope. That's what they do in all the since Dragon Quest VIII that I know of, so hopefully yes, let us do tonight. Yep, goodbye. Alright. Let's go to the Spring of Bravery now. Let's go find my companion. Oh, that's the Spring of Bravery, and I'm not walking into like a dungeon where you need to be level 25 and then you're dead within one hit. Well, I should have saved too. Alright. Oh, that's the thing too, I forgot. Some of these old 8-bit role-playing games, like once you die, it's like you have to start from like whenever you last saved. There's no like checkpoints or anything like that. So we'll hope. We hope I didn't mess this all up and have to start back at level 4 whenever I last saved. Awesome. Alright. Alright, level up. Just out of curiosity, do I have any spells? Alright, guess I don't. Alright. Let's go south. Oop, treasure chest. I'm glad I didn't waste a lot of my time trying to upgrade my weapons or my armor. Jeez, come on, man. There we go. I think I should be good. Awesome. Oh. Okay. Now, usually when I fight, I usually try to see who's going to hit me the hardest. So, like, you know, if the wild monks gives me for 3 damage. You know, I'm probably gonna get them first before I hit the big slugs. I just kind of pay attention to the text that's scrolling. Alright. Alright, well. Okay. Big Cobra. Alright, ooh, 6 points. My goodness. Well, now I know I need to fight Big Cobra. Alright. So got another antidote herb, which would be good, because I'm sure being bit by a snake's probably gonna poison me. Alright, I guess that's the spring. If that's the King's son, that's an old dude. What can I carry? Throw something away for now. I will. Oh! Unbelievable. I thought there'd still be the treasure chest there. I didn't realize. If not, I got rid of one of those lottery tickets. My goodness. It's interesting how much role-playing games have changed over the years, and how little things like that, like moving slow and getting random encounters like all the time, just doesn't do it for you. My goodness. Where's Mendenhall Castle? I'm so confused. Seriously, I walk all this way over here to find out that, oh wow, that old man must be that King's son. That's weird. Just to find out, oh no, he's not here. But then his sister says he moves slowly, so how is he getting to all these places? Yes. That still doesn't tell me where this castle is. that's different. I forgot about that. Dragon Warrior 1, when you go to the stairs, you had to like hit a button and say, go to like stairs, because you didn't walking into a stair wasn't gonna do anything. So I'm glad they fixed that little thing, but my goodness. Maybe I think if you went to a door, you'd have to like select the option door. Now where's this castle at? Alright, let's see. 307 gold, so let's go ahead and... Oh, so it only takes you to the last place you were at. Okay. Alright. Let me see if they're going to tell me any other place where this other castle is. Yeah, I know. Yes. Yes. Alright, this still doesn't help me. I have no idea where this castle is. Here, let me talk to you. He was already at the spring, and now he's at a castle. Alright. Let me grab another wing. It's amazing how some of the music from these old games they still use in the current versions of, or the more modern versions of Dragon Quest. So he's a level 1, but he has magic. Alright. Purchase a magic knife. Okay. Oh, he has a club. You know what? Maybe I'll give Brian a magic knife. Get out of my way. Do I need to reach Moonbrook? I think so. But I'm just gonna do some. Let me just test Brand's ability and see how well he does. Because if he's crappy, then I don't wanna go too farther. Okay. Well, let me just go back to the castle so I can save. There we go. Okay, I have heal, so we'll just fight. Yes, I do. Yes. Okay. So I guess we're going to Moonbrook then. I have no idea. No idea where I'm going. Alright. They say Moonbrook is this way then. Gotta look for the monolith. Oh, there it is. The bamboo stick. Alright, brain goes up level 2. Hope you learned a spell. What spell did you learn? Oh, you learned Fireball. Alright. So basically I just went there for no reason. Well, if I'm gonna go back all this way, I might as well try to see if I can... 3 big cobras, oh my. I was poisoned. this in. Every time. Okay. I don't know what that's going to do, but alright. Great heights. Okay. Southwest of this village lies the castle Moonbrook. Okay, southwest. These. Let me get some fairy water. Well, that's the same ghost lady. Okay, but I don't know what to do with him. Okay. Yes. Let me see. Okay. Alright, 2 more lottery tickets. Oh yes, I can save my game. Yes. Yes. Alright. Good, good, good. Woof, woof. So they said southwest was Moonbrook, so that's where I will go. Well then, I'm just gonna go ahead and because when you walk around the world poisoned, it hurts you, but if you're in villages, it's okay. Alright, that's weird. Alright. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be grinding a bit. Because I have a feeling I'm going to die very quickly. Even talk to that old man just to save, just to be safe. Got about another half an hour before I'm done, but already got a companion, so that's good. Trying to remember, I think when I played this game, I think I actually had the other companion, and then that was it for me. Alright, let's use the fireball on the centipods. That's the other thing about these old school role-playing games is that you can't even choose like to attack. It's like, oh, I want to hit Centipede B, but I may hit Centipede A, so it's not going to work for me. Oh, alright. Okay, 63 pieces of gold, alright. Promoted, power increased by 1. A new spell, alright. Antidote, alright, that's a good spell to have. Just keep on jumping. Yeah, I know my camera keeps jumping around. looks like... Alright, Vicious has been promoted. Power 1, 3, HP. Alright. Good, good, good. Just to be safe. Do that and kind of call it a day, but so far so good. It's kind of hard to, my first impressions of this game is like, yeah, playing Dragon Warrior 1, I think like the highest level you could go to is like, what was it, level 9 or 12? I don't remember. So not as much grinding, you kind of level up. It seems like it's a good pace. But yeah, just the random enemy encounters. Even it's like you get out of the, like when I got out of the castle, instantly I'm fighting someone. It's like I haven't even walked onto the map yet and I'm already fighting somebody. But yeah, so far so good. But yeah, I'm going to keep trying to finish this, try to beat this. I'll kind of do a little bit of live streams. Some I may just kind of record me play and then upload it onto the Games Never Finished Twitch page. Again, you can also follow, again, subscribe. Again, feel free to follow Games Never Finished. Also, if you want to follow me, don't really do much on my page, just random stream stuff that I feel like, hey, I'm going to stream something. I do that. So yeah, pretty good. I really enjoy it. again, subscribe, and if you happen to didn't catch any of these, you can actually look at you can go ahead and go to my YouTube page. It's just youtube.com/viciousgrandma, and you should see all these videos up here too. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye.